up, JP Nation? It's your boy JP. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel where we do basketball reaction videos. If you love the game of basketball like I do, make sure you subscribe to ItzJustJP. Down below and click the notification bell. You know where our next upload is. Today we are reacting to NBA Top Shot. Larry Bird breaks down the greatest plays and moments of career from the legendary Larry Bird himself. So let me know what you're going to react to next. And let's go ahead and get into the video. My merchandise is available too as well. The link is in the description to check out my merchandise. So please check it out. Let's get into the video.
I felt more comfortable with my left hand there than I did my right. Then once I got started making a few, I just kept going. And some night it goes in, some night it don't. That night it happened to work out. But if I remember correctly, we won that game in overtime by like 1 point. So, you know, probably should have shot my right hand.
The confidence of Larry Bird.
Was Larry Bird, the living, breathing urban legend, speaking candidly about a game in 1986 when he shot 21 field goals with his left hand because he could. "I'm saving my right hand for the Lakers," he told the media. This summer, NBA Top Shot had the fortune of working directly with Larry Bird to curate the greatest hits of his 13-year career. Along the way, we decided who better to provide context about these plays and performances than the man himself. The following conversation covers a number of unforgettable moments, some of which already exist in the NBA Top Shot library. The rest, well, we'll have to wait and see.
You'll hear all the talk about me, whether I could play in the NBA or whether I couldn't. I knew 3 days during the summer when I played against some of the better players we had on our team and rookie free agent camp that I wouldn't have very many problems playing in this league. So it didn't take me long to figure out that what I needed to do is learn how to win basketball games. Before I got there, I think the Celtics won 28 or 29 games that previous year, and my goal was to win as many as I possibly could. Help them get to where they haven't been in a while, and that was my whole focus.
Jump forward to your second year, game one of the NBA final. I want to talk specifically about the putback. Remember the putback off your own miss?
Yeah.
Talking about the putback on his own mess in 81.
The greatest play he'd ever seen, and he called you player of destiny this time. And your response to their love is, "Brett said so much, I don't even listen to him. I just let it run in 1 year and no joke." And I'm curious, what does it mean to have that kind of relationship and support from him?
Oh, it meant everything. Red Box could be the greatest GM ever was, president of any sport. Looked up to him. We all looked up to him.
Red Auerbach.
Red never missed a practice. He didn't go on a lot of road games, which I don't blame him because he's been doing that all his whole life, but he was there every home game. He meant the world to all of us, and to have him to say something like that is just showing a lot of respect. Not only to me, but I try to give as much respect back because he was beloved and he meant everything to us. Red's seen a lot of basketball games in his life, and sometimes you have a tendency in the moment to forget about the other ones. But it was a good play. It was a horrible shot I missed. I was able to gather it and in the air, switch hands, and get it to my left hand and make it. Just so happened to be in a big game, game one of the 1981 finals against Houston Rockets. That I think that's why it played up with so much hype. But still, it's something that I always did back then. Was always follow my shot because the guy that's shooting the ball knows whether he's going to make it or miss it most of the time, whether it's going to be short, long, left, or right. And when I released the ball that day, it was a way off to the right, and I was just trying to chase it down.
That seems like the type of where you perfect shooting alone in the driveway, just bringing the ball off the rim. I love that. And you mentioned that this series in your book, and playing against Moses Malone, gives you a new appreciation for rebounding. Do you recall about that?
Well, I was always a very good rebounder in high school and college. I think in college I averaged like 14, in high school I averaged 20, so I was always able to rebound. Damn! The ability to see out the ball.
You got 10 rebounds in this whole career.
But
like,
when you play against guys like Moses Malone and some of the top rebounders in the league, the one thing that they always have a second jump. I never had the second jump, but they can keep the ball alive and tip it to themselves or take it off the bankboard or off the rim and get that second jump to get it. And I was always amazed how he's able to not only use his body but his strength and his legs to get in a position to rebound.
Now you mentioned this already, but when your first season, you have the biggest single season turnaround in wins, and then a title in your second. You're just 24 years old right now, a sophomore. And, hindsight, that you guys have your own dynasty. But what was it like sort of continuing that, that storied legacy, that era of dominance for the Celtics? Did you appreciate that at the time?
Not before I got there, but after I got there, I really learned about what it was all about. When I played in the Garden, every game I went to, the same people in the same spots for 13 years, So they've been there forever. They knew the game. They loved the game of basketball. But playing for the Boston Celtics was the highlight of my whole life. Played a lot of. I enjoyed my time in Terre Haute, Indiana State. We did something incredible there, but playing at a high level and doing it for a living was the highlight of my career. And it happened to be in Boston, which is a city that I respect and love. It the best time of my life.
You joined this team that has some very established players like David Coleman and Eric Paul. What was playing with those guys like?
It's always great to play with great players. It makes the game a lot easier. But the one thing that we did my second year, we picked up Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. Now, we didn't know how they was going to fit in, but they fit in very nicely. And after we won the championship in '81, I felt like we had a good enough team where we could start a destiny and win a lot of championships. Unfortunately, there for 3 years we didn't do much, but from '84 on, we played pretty well.
Let's jump forward. I want to jump all the way forward to the 84-85 season. And that's kind of fun. On March 12th, 60-point game against the Hawks. You almost didn't play this game. Do you remember why?
Yeah, I remember every bit of it. I had a lot of problems with my hamstrings before that game. When we went to New Orleans I think it was on a Sunday or Monday. The day of the game, I got up and I couldn't hardly move.
Wow.
And the reason for that is I ran in a 5-mile race. It was either on that Sunday or Saturday back home. Once a year, we had this run, right in the middle of the season, and I always loved to go outdoors and run, and I always participated in it. But for some reason this time my hamstrings got real tight. Before the game, I was over an hour and a half before the game, was doing everything I could to get loose. And finally, right before game time, they felt really good and played and shot the ball extremely well that night.
Wow, I did not know that he had an issue with his hamstring before he dropped 60 on the Atlanta Hawks in New Orleans. That is really new news to me about that. So we could not have Larry Bud that night when he dropped 60 against the Hawks because of the hamstring and then running in that race. So, wow, wow, I did not know that. Let's go ahead and get back. I'm enjoying this. I just feel like the interviewer could, speak a little louder because I can't really hear him, though. But, I understand what they're trying to do, but I wish you could speak a little louder so that we can all hear what he's saying. So that's it, though. But other than that, it's been it's a great breakdown by Larry Bud, and great job with the interview so far.
Are superhuman, because the following court Dominic Wilson lean that's called off 1-point play. What do you remember about that final quarter? And did you know that this was? When did you know that this was more than just a good shooting that the rest of the
Well, Kevin McHale broke the all-time record a couple of weeks before
56.
that against Detroit Pistons, and I did not want him to go out of the game. There's a couple minutes left, and I told him to stay in, go for 60, and that's a number in my head that I wanted him to get. He ended up with 56, so a couple weeks later, when I got, we played in New Orleans, and people always say, well, how'd you know how many points you had? Well, you didn't have to keep track of them. You never do. You just play the game. But
Yeah.
the announcer let me know every time I scored. So he go 48, 50, 52, and when he got to that with like 3 or 4 minutes to go, I thought I might as well go ahead and try to get 60, and that's what I did.
Nice.
And you mentioned between the Kevin McHale record 2 days prior. I'm just curious, how did you see, stars with very different personalities? How did you play these stars?
Well, I think it's just the competition of practice every day. But we didn't go against one another. When Kevin became a starter, we was always on the same team. But before that, he was our sixth man, came off the bench. I
Great sixth man.
Play against him every day. And what we do, we played hard. We practiced hard. We scrimmaged a lot. and we try to make each other better. That's just the nature of the business, because if you want to practice, you want to play at a high level, or you really get nothing out of it. So we did our best to play hard every day and then try to learn one another's game. And it was so easy to play with Kevin because he had pretty good hands and he always got great positions. So
Very
and
underrated.
he's 7 foot, so it's easy to get the
Very
ball to him in
underrated.
the right spots.
Now, during this game, you have the Hawks in pieces on the bench. I'm curious from your vantage point. What were they saying and doing?
I have no idea. You don't watch that stuff during the game. I didn't know about it till, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks after. People were talking about it. But later on, somebody showed me a video of it, and we've done the same thing. I remember Andrew Toney in big games from Philadelphia come
Austin
in
Strangler.
and start making crazy shots, or Vinny. In the microwave, we don't fall off the bench like that, but we sit there and go, man, this is unbelievable. What are you going to do to stop him? So I've been on both sides of it.
You mentioned specifically, again, in your book, you sort of right after the 60-point game, one that you're maybe more personally proud of is the triple-double with 9 steals.
Triple-double and 9 assists he's talking about.
Well, that was in Utah, and they had a real good team. And if I'm correct, I
That
think we played the
quadruple,
Lakers
close.
the day before, and we always seemed like Utah the next night, which is always tough after a game against the Lakers to come in and stay on that high. But that game, everything was clicking, and it seemed like they were just throwing me the ball all the time. I always had it in my hands, and put a lot of numbers up, but numbers don't mean nothing. The win was more important. It's always good to reflect back like today and say, yeah, that's right, I did get 9 steals and had a triple-double. But getting a quadruple-double meant nothing to me. I mean, really, you go into a game and when you're up by 25, 30 points, just for a steal, makes no sense to me. I did enough damage already.
God, I love Larry. That's why I love Larry. Like, he didn't even care about going back in the game and getting that one steal just to get a quadruple double so he could be part of NBA history with a few other people like Nate Thurman and David Robinson. He didn't even care much about that. He cared so much about the win. They were up 25, 30 points already. And he's like, look, I did damage enough already to the Utah Jazz. So, look, it would have been different if they were... if they were up by like 3 or 4, then yeah, he'll be back in. But they were up by like 25, 30 points. And he didn't even care about that quadruple double. This is why I love Larry. He said numbers did not matter to him. All he cared about was win and losses. That's all he cared about. I respect so much about Larry. But like, this is great. This is great. This is why I'm trying to tell these young folks. If you can have that mindset of win and lose, instead of just trying to stat pat numbers. What up, JP Nation? Before we get back into the video, the holidays is coming up and it's getting cold outside. What I like to do is have an easy way to shave my face using the Handyman. It's a compact face shaver that improves my grooming, created by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precise tools for your family jewels and face, including the Handyman itself. You can groom on the go for family trips, special occasions, and date nights, just to name a few. Manscaped tools are waterproof and can take your grooming to the next level thanks to the skin-safe technology and the cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Manscaped helped me so much in the way that my face looks good and getting compliments from many people, including my wife, about the difference in my appearance. Ladies, go also get it for your men. Manscaped also provides the Performance Package 4.0 as well. That includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. If you do decide to get the Performance Package 4.0, Manscaped also will provide you 2 free gifts, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag, to bring your comfort and boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping using the code ItzJP. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com and use code ItzJP. Unlock your confidence and use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Fast forward to the
3-point contest.
From the moment that you found out that you would be participating in the contest, what did you do to prepare? Is it uncharted?
Well, yeah, it is uncharted because we never shot a lot of threes, and I never practiced. I mean, every once in a while I go out there with Danny Ainge and we'd shoot a few, but I didn't really know if I wanted to be in the 3-point contest until a couple of my teammates told me I wouldn't win it anyway. So then I had to go out and prove to them that I could win the thing. I'm a very confident player. The one thing I didn't know if I could do it. You had 25 balls and you had time. You had to get them up. Never done anything like that before. So me and Danny started practicing a little bit, and next thing you know, we're out there playing and shooting, and the more rounds you go through, the more confidence you got. There was never a time where I thought I couldn't win the competition. There was always a time where if the ball was flowing right, the more I shot it, the better I got. My whole mentality of that was if I got through the first round, I was going to win.
Now, one advantage that you had versus some of the other players in the contest was a little bit extra experience, shooting under pressure. And you seem to have fun with that. Great game in the ice, in the locker room, and now in the triple line. So who's coming in second? What do you remember about that experience?
Well, it wasn't a big deal. It's just that it's a very somber locker room. Nobody was saying anything because we compete against each other, mostly on a nightly basis. And there's not a lot of rapport going back and forth, but pretty quiet. Guys, a little nervous. A lot of the guys that was in the competition were great shooters, but they were bench players. They played maybe 12, 10 minutes a game. So it's a whole different feeling when you get out there because when you're shooting that basketball and there's 20,000 people in the arena, there's 40,000 sets of eyes on you. It's a little different. And it's just you. So I knew they was under a lot of duress anyway, so I said it just to break the ice, but I didn't think it would ever leak out there. But truthfully, I meant it. I mean, I knew I was probably going to win the contest.
Casey Jones said, Larry has that Muhammad Ali kind of approach. He gets to you in your mind before the fight begins. By the time you step in the ring, you're 40 points down. And I'm curious, where does this sort of playful but unwavering confidence come from for you personally?
Well, my confidence came from me shooting basketball by myself for hours upon hours. I mean, I didn't pick up a ball on a Saturday and decide I was going to score 40 a game. I mean, that preparation came way before that. So I played a lot of basketball in my life and did a lot of shooting from every angle, from every position. Then once I grew, be 6'9", the game became a lot easier. But I put my time in, so I knew I put more time in than anybody else. And I had skills that other people didn't have, so I had a lot of confidence in whatever I did out there on the basketball court.
Lovely.
Would you say, was there a comparable player that would talk on the court with you? Would you say the greatest trash talker?
Well, I mean, everybody talks about this trash talk.
Trash talking.
It's a little bit overblown. I said some things, but the talk didn't go on and on and on. You had to play the game. But some guys would say things. Guys walk up to you when you're on the free throw line and walk by and say something. But mine wouldn't do anything to disrespect people. Sometimes you get into it with players and you say things, but more of it's just fun. Dominic Wilkins is a guy that I respect more than anybody I ever played against. And I talked to Dominic just being him. Nobody knew he was talking. And what a great player. I love to compete against him, but he just laughed. Which I thought was pretty cool.
I'll change the speed a little bit. You didn't shoot a lot of threes.
I saw I keep pausing. Well, he is so humble. He is so humble. But, when you last played back in the day when he was talking trash, it's different. Now, did he go at people in terms of personally? No. But, the mind games and all the stuff that he was saying back in the day from players' perspective, he is humble about that. Oh, man.
No one really did. But you were one of the first to flourish there, starting around in the mid-'80s. When did you start seriously working on your range?
Well, I never did. Like I said earlier, I never did practice the three-point shot much. The one thing that I remember most about the three-point shot was you could use it to your team's advantage at the end of games, to ice games, and deflate other teams. But I can also remember in the mid-'80s, Casey Jones was the coach, and he came in the locker room for the game and told us we shoot too many threes. And we probably shot maybe 8 or 9 the game before. Well, we're playing New York, and the ball goes up, and Robert tips it out. Danny Ainge picks it up and fires up the 3 first shot of the game. And I'm going, well, I guess that's out the window. But, there wasn't a mentality that we had to shoot 33s a game like they are now. I mean, I know coaches in our league like to shoot 50 a game. But back then, not with the Celtics, we were a big team. We liked to pound ball inside and go inside and out, So the three-point shot wasn't something that we worried about. If you had it, you take it, but most of the time we threw it inside.
Love it.
Now, fast forwarding, this is just a week. It's February 14th. You're playing against the Blazers. You're scoring 47 points. You're especially using your left hand.
Oh.
What compelled you to shoot so many field goals with your left in that game in particular?
I don't know. I had a good left hand around the basket, and they always, if you watch, if I remember the game correctly, they would force me left to help, and they wasn't getting there quick enough, so I had shots around 5-6 foot with my left hand. I felt more comfortable with my left hand there than I did my right. And once I got started making a few, I just kept going. Some night it goes in, some night it don't. That night it happened to work out. But if I remember correctly, we won that game in overtime by like 1 point. So, probably should have shot my right hand.
Now, Jack McMullen wrote in the book with your Magic that the Celtics at this time were young, loose, cocky, and together.
Yeah.
Nowadays, as we look back at that 85-86 team, it's one of the best in league history.
Right.
What was the mood on that team, even the Celtics team prior?
Talking about the 86 Celtics.
I played on some really good teams, but nothing quite like that one. Bill Walton made a lot of difference on that team. Jerry Sixteen coming in from Indiana as a backup point guard. Scotty Webman was there in '84, but he was a top player for us off our bench. Our bench was just as good as the starters, I thought. But Bill Walton was the key. Bill came in and coming off a lot of injuries for a lot of years, felt relatively healthy. And we felt that if we could keep him on the court 10 or 15 minutes a game, we're probably going to win a championship. It all came down to whether we was going to be healthy or not. And we stayed pretty healthy. I think Bill played in 80 games that year. And
impressive.
We just felt that nobody could beat us. Not in a 7-game series.
Went 50-1. 50-1.
June 8, 1986, Game 6. This is following Game 5.
Talking about the Houston Rockets game. The best game he ever played, in his opinion.
Yeah.
How would you describe Celtics fans and the environment that they created?
Well, it depends on what game. I played there on Sundays at noon, and I always said they should have went to church instead of coming to the game because they were playing at church. But then I fire them up, and here they come, So I can remember Bill Walton. I got there real early, and I got my stuff done, and Bill Walton came in the locker room. He goes, "Them fans want blood, and they don't care whose it is." And, I lived that life for 13 years, and that was Bill's first year. So I knew I know them Boston fans. They want them championships, and they want it in the fashion that we gave it to them. They want a big lead. They want to have fun. They don't want to sit on their hands. They want to get up and go, and they're cocky just like their team was.
And you said you probably concentrated and prepared more for this particular game than any other. And I'm curious, how is this different than others?
I don't think I prepared. I think we were prepared as a team. After what you said happened in Game 5, we just had to let that go and concentrate on what we had to get done in Game 6. We already lost 2 games to them, which a very talented team, but we were the superior team. They were young, and I didn't think they could ever win 2 games. But what happened in Game 5 spilled over to Game 6. Now it's up to us to go out as a veteran team that's been there before and play like we've been there before. And that's why our focus had to be solely on what we can do as a team. And that's what we did.
And you're contributing, across the board. It's almost like a defensive masterclass that you put on.
Well, I was told 2 or 3 times to get out of the zone defense I was in. But we were all over the court. It was a hype game. It was one of them games where you had all this energy, you know, you just wanted to keep going and going and going. And it seemed like everybody was in the right place at the right time, and the ball was moving really well, and guys were hitting shots. So I think it was the game that not only was I prepared to play in, but everybody was ready to go.
One shot that you mentioned, one that I love to watch was that three-pointer from the corner in the fourth quarter. Bill kind of gets in your way and you zigzag.
Well, when I came out of that, I knew the clock was down, but I didn't know it was down that far. I got to the corner wanting him to go post up, but when I got there, out of the corner of my eye, I seen the shot clock on the other end. So when I got out there, I just turned and shot it. It was all really in the flow of the game. But, you know, when you do that, you hope they go in. But if we missed it, it wasn't a big deal. When we were moving well, we were playing well. We sort of had them on their heels at that time. They were down probably 20-some points, and we were just playing the way we played.
Now let's go to the next season. I want to talk specifically May 26, 1987, was Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The steal.
Oh yeah, the steal. Talking about the steal.
You got Michael Horn guarding you.
That's what I wanted.
What's your first look? What are you looking for?
Well, he played me drive it, played me go left, and I mean, I had an opportunity to shoot a jump shot, but in that situation, if you can get open is one thing, but if you think you can beat the guy off the dribble and get in there and maybe try to make contact or make a play, but when I drove in there, everything closed down, and when I went up, the shot was blocked. I didn't know who blocked it, you know, and went out of bounds, and next time I see Isaiah grab it, or the referee's got the ball, and I'm on the floor, and I went back to a player, and I seen Lambeer go into the baseline, get the ball. And I thought a timeout was coming because I knew they had a timeout left, they could advance the ball. But Isaiah gets it and throws a lob pass. And I think Jerry Sisson was on him, covering him, and Isaiah had to throw it up a little bit. And he did. And that ball seemed like it just stayed in the air. And somehow I got there and got my fingertips on it and popped it back to myself. And out of the corner of my eye, I seen a white jersey. And I knew it was DJ. It had to be DJ. And I had a little shot there I could have took, but I kick it off DJ and he lays it up and in, and I think there's 1 second left on the time.
Big moment.
And we end up winning the game. It's just a
Players
reaction
movement.
play, like I told you earlier. Sometimes you do things, you know, you do it because you've done it so many times. I'm not saying I made a steal like that thousands of times, but I reacted that way thousands of times. I'm just lucky enough to get my fingertips on the ball.
And pretty much just said about DJ's uncanny ability
Right.
to hit you all the time. What about that, you know, relationship with the two of you made you so instinct
Maybe.
I don't know, but I mean, obviously we were more in sync than anybody ever played with. Somehow he could read what I was thinking. There's a lot of times I'd be looking at him, he'd have the ball at the top of the key, he'd just throw it behind the defense's ear, and I knew he was going to throw it, you know, and just pick and roll plays or lob over tops. When I was in the post, how he got it to me. I mean, we had an uncanny connection that I never had with anybody else. And but when I stole that ball, I knew that was him cutting down the lane without even knowing who it was.
And now, in general, in this playoff run, you're saying that you're dragging yourself back to the finals. What is this playoff run and that resiliency sort of say about the personality?
Yeah, in '87 I was the healthiest one on the roster. That's not saying much. Good. I know Robert had ankle injuries, and Kevin broke his foot in that series. I don't know if it was the Lakers series or the one before, but he was trying to play. Danny had a hip problem, and just to get to the finals, it made us feel good. You know, we didn't win it, but we got there, and if somehow a miracle happened, we could have pulled it off. But it was a gratifying season, though we didn't win it. Usually when you lose, you always say, well, you know, it's a bad year, you know, but not there. I mean, we fought, scrapped, did everything we could to get back there and try to win it, and we did. And just unfortunately, we came up short.
That was the last of the plays that I wanted to get into. I just sort of more generically, I was just curious. The game has obviously evolved, you know, so much over the years. But I'm curious, are there any aspects of that 80s basketball that you personally miss?
Good question.
Well, the inside game. You know, I like the game that's played now. I mean, I respect the players. You know, we had our run. and this is their time, and this is how they like to play their game, and it's like they like to be coached this way. I understand all that, but I'm glad I played in the 80s because it was more that you could feel and hold and grab, and the ball was pounded inside. Sometimes it'd be low in scoring games, but sometimes you score 130 points, so you didn't know going in what kind of game it was going to be. So I enjoyed the 80s, but I like to watch the game now. I like to see how it's played. A lot of people
complain, but there's too many threes. I can remember a number of years ago, I was worried about the small guards. When you see Magic Johnson come in at 6'9", and the taller guards, 6'6", 6'7", coming in, I was wondering where the 6'3" guys, the 6'2" guys, where their place in our game was going to be. Well, all of a sudden the three-point line opened up, and now where's the big man going to be? Everybody's going smaller.
And the last question for my part here is, for new fans that are coming up and are just sort of getting that first taste back into your era, what do you want them to know about your legacy, the Celtics' legacy, the generation's legacy?
Yeah, if you look at the history of the game, every decade's different. The game changes. They always try to compare players now to back in the 80s and 70s, and which you cannot do. It's a whole different ball game. They talk about the private jets, the no back-to-backs, no 4 and 5s. I can remember one season we played 3 in a row. Well, we were young. We could do that. But you even look back further than me. Guys were on trains for days. They played double hitters on Saturdays. Not 2 games one day, but one team would play and they play the next one, the next night, or the night game. But the game's changed so much, and the preparation for games as far as health, rest, it's so much different than it was in the 80s and even in the 50s. It's better. I think they're looking out for the players' health a lot more, and I think it's only going to get stronger. And I'm happy to be a small part of all of it.
Man, that was a great video. Shout out to Larry Bud. Shout out to NBA Top Shot too as well. Larry's just so humble, which I love about him. Respecting today's game and respecting the era he played in. Love the questions that the interviewer was asking him. I kind of wish the interviewer would ask him about what player today really reminded him of himself, or what player does he really enjoy watching today, since he loves the game. So I would love to hear those questions. I know he's a consultant for the Indiana Pacers, and hopefully he doesn't get fined for it though. Talking about the moments that he had, just listening to him. It's just awesome just to listen to Larry Bud, and he just cares so much about winning. He didn't even care about numbers. He just cares so much about winning, which really makes me want to respect him even more, because playing basketball, watching basketball, some people like to put up the numbers and stuff just because they like numbers, but you have certain people that want to win. I know everybody wants to win, but you got some people that really wants to win, really want to get deep in the playoffs, really want to win the championship. They care so much about winning. They don't even care if they put up 5 points and get 10 rebounds or 20 assists. But I respect Larry so much because he, like I say, he doesn't care about numbers. He don't even care if he wants to. He didn't want to go in against Utah to go finish a quadruple double. And he's like, no, I did my damage enough already, and we're winning. So why would I want to go back for one still? That's just that's Larry Bud. At the end of the day, that is him. Like I said, I wish the interview was kind of louder. Now, he kind of got louder as time goes on and asking questions, so we could hear him a little bit more. That's why I kind of let y'all know what they was talking about. They're talking about the evolution of the game, or they're talking about Dennis Johnson, or some, whatever topic they were talking about. But I wish he was kind of a little bit louder, but it would turn out to be a great interview. Larry looks really good, looks really healthy too as well. So, I mean, man, it's great. It's always great to see Larry Bud. It really does. It really does. So definitely comment down below and tell me your thoughts on this video. Let me know what you want me to react to next. Make sure you subscribe to ItzJP for more content. Click the notification bell. You know why our next upload is. I'm JP. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.